Obviously, we're excited to get our first Big 12 win. Great night. Brandon Newman scored 1,000 points. Abou had a fantastic night. I thought our team was much more together and played well as a team. And obviously, we're happy to take care of business at home. Now we've got to figure out a way to go get a couple on the road.
Questions for players?
Abou, just what was working for you tonight?
Ducking in post-ups. And these guys are doing a good job of finding me while I was open.
Brandon, what does 1,000 points mean?
I mean, you've been in college for as long as I have. I feel like it'll come sooner or later. But I'm happy I was able to do it, getting a win tonight, getting Coach's first Big 12 win. Obviously, we dropped the last two, but it's definitely a huge momentum builder heading on to a long road trip.
Brandon, when y'all see Abou able to get going like he was tonight, especially early on, what does that do for the rest of y'all?
No, we feed off him. Like, Coach is always telling us to feed him. He's sprinting the floor. He's sealing. He's getting us layups, but he makes sure we got to get him his touches, and keep them locked into the game. And you see, if he's got somebody one-on-one, yeah.
It felt like, especially early on in the first couple minutes, felt like you maybe had some more openings than maybe you've had in some of these other games. Were you surprised by just how they came out defending you, and how good did it feel to start that way?
I mean, honestly, a little excited knowing I have a matchup and they're not double teaming or anything. I'm able to play one-on-one. And honestly, I'm just looking to win. At the end of the day, it's like whatever I can do to win. So today was my call in scoring, and I did a pretty good job of that, I think.
You had a couple putbacks tonight. Felt like the ball just sort of bounced your way a lot. I don't know. It was like
Coach Lutz did a good job of telling us to crash today, and he said it was going to be open on film. They showed us proof how what we can do to win, and then we did it.
How does just the win feel after these last two games?
Great, honestly. To get a win in the Big 12, especially my first Big 12 win as well, all three of us, exciting, and we're ready to get on to the next one now.
Brandon, does it help to get this first one out of the way? You've got it already. Now you can start working on getting other ones.
Yeah, I mean, the two guys sitting next to me can tell you losing is not fun, right? We work so hard. We want to make sure, that we're victorious at the end of a game. So, I mean, like I mentioned before, good win, good stepping stone. We'll have, a good test for us, a long road trip over on the West Coast, and I'm sure we'll be off tomorrow, and then the next day we'll be on to the next one.
How important, Brandon, was it to start fast after you guys played good in the second half in West Virginia, but the first half was so bad that it didn't really matter? Just how important was it for you guys to go out and start fast today?
Just a confidence builder to start the game out right, how we know how to play. What you guys saw tonight was a team and some potential of how good we can really be. I think we still got some areas for improvement, but tonight we showed some good flashes of what we can be as the season progresses.
Both of y'all played a lot of ball past seasons too. How much does it help in your experience to get a win, especially early in conference play? Does that really help teams build confidence?
Oh, for sure, especially being down 2 games. This is a great conference. You go down 3 games, you never know how your season can go. So, in a sense, almost like a make or break game. The way I took it, I felt like we needed to win this so we can keep progressing in the right way.
Brandon, have you felt, I don't know, can wins like this mean more than just one win? Can it help y'all later in the season?
Coming into conference play, we knew that each game in this conference, obviously, everybody says it's the best conference in the country, and we try to prepare it like that. So any game is not an off night. We need to make sure everybody's hooked up from top to bottom.
Abou, just in general, over these 3 Big 12 games, have you been defended differently than you maybe anticipated, or did you know that you were going to be a focal point of some defenses the way you have been?
Honestly, I just take every game differently. I just listen to what this guy right here got to tell me every day and just try to do it to the best of my ability. But yeah, that's about it.
Anything else for these guys? All right.
Let's celebrate. I guess, Coach, just kind of what's your first Big 12 win mean for you?
Oh, I mean, obviously I'm excited, but I didn't want. I was not hoping we would start off 0-2, right? And those of you that know me, I'm a very competitive person, and losing games I don't take lightly. So I thought that the guys did a good job of banding together over the last couple days and the second half of West Virginia. I thought that we were not nearly the team that we can be in the first half at West Virginia, and part of that is due to them, but part of it is just our own mental makeup, right? We've got to do a better job of enjoying each other, right, and not pointing fingers, and when things don't go your way, not getting your heads down and not, being negative. We focused a lot on trying to be positive, trying to play for one another, and I thought it was evident in the ball movement that we had tonight. We haven't had that ball movement in a while, and for that I give those guys credit, man. I mean, you as a coach, you've got to put your livelihood and your trust and your belief in 18 to 23-year-olds, and they did a good job of coming back and playing as a team tonight.
31 points off turnovers. Does it mean a little more that this is the style that you guys want to play, that was what was successful tonight? Yeah,
no. I mean, anytime you can get that many points off of turnovers and then get it going in transition, I mean, that's going to help you. And we've not been great in converting our turnovers into points, and tonight we were much better there. The one area that I thought we didn't do a great job of tonight is converting offensive rebounds into second chance points. That's an area we still need to improve on.
Obviously, you'll tweak things based on the matchups, but big picture, would you say this is a blueprint for what you want this team to play like?
Yeah, I mean, we've always, ever since day one, I've told you guys we'd like to play fast if we can, but you can't play fast if you don't play great defense, right? And at West Virginia in the first half, right, we allowed them to score. Shoot, I don't even, what was the score? 40-something, 50 points almost? You can't give up 50 points in a half. Then in the second half at West Virginia, we had them to 13 points with 4 minutes left to go in half, right? So you've done a good job if you've held somebody to 13 points. Tonight, again, in the first half, I thought we were great. Now, defensively, I didn't think we were as good in the second half tonight, but we were good enough to win, and you try not to beat them down because you want them to feel confident as you head into Utah.
Do you have the same kind of excitement that Abou talked about when he starts seeing as many one-on-one matchups as he does?
Absolutely. Yeah, and then, to Abou's credit, he doesn't complain, right? And I've got to do a better job, and our staff's got to do a better job of, even when they double team them, we've got to make them pay. I mean, anytime you're putting two onto the basketball, somebody's open. So we've got to continue to work and get better at attacking those double teams and making teams pay for it. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it.
After a game like West Virginia, how do you kind of balance, as having a sense of urgency, but also understanding it's like, hey, there's still a lot of basketball to be played, obviously?
Yeah, I don't talk a lot about the long play other than, hey, it's a process, and hey, you've got 20 games, so can't have too many highs, too many lows. And like tonight, I mean, I'm sure they're excited, but it's just one of, what do we got, 17 more games left, 16 more games left, right? So it's a long road. And obviously having to go on the road here this week to Utah and BYU, it's not going to get any easier. I mean, BYU might be the hardest, if not the hardest, one of the hardest places in our league to play. And so we'll have our work cut out for us. But, yeah, we'll celebrate every win. I tell them to celebrate every single win, no matter if it's in the Big 12 or in any game, because they're hard to come by.
Second half is, I think, the most zone you guys have seen this year. Just kind of how did you think that you guys responded to it?
I thought we were okay. They'd played, I believe, 12 possessions of zone coming into the game. And obviously they got into some foul trouble and, kind of had to do some different things. I thought that we settled for a couple easy ones, but I thought every time we got the ball into the high post, we were successful. We've just got to do a better job of sealing that 3 point shot, and then, getting it to the rim. And I thought we were okay. I thought we were okay. We guard that was in there so that we can get the ball in the high post. I thought that we were a little bit too high against the zone. We've got to get the ball below the free throw line and flatten the zone out. Once you flatten the zone out, now you're going to be able to get the ball in the short corner. You're going to be able to get it into the high post. And I thought once we did that, we were much more effective. But, for us not having seen a zone in a while, I thought we were fine. And Brandon obviously came in and hit a couple shots, which helped us.
What did that 1,000-point mark for him mean to you?
Oh, I'm so happy for him, right? I've known that young man since he's 17, 18 years old as a redshirt freshman at Purdue. And I've seen him, graduate. I've seen him get a master's. I've won a conference tournament championship with him and been to the NCAA tournament with him, a couple times. So there's a special place in my heart for him because he's a great kid. And I'm happy for him. It just means he's a good basketball player, right? Anytime you score 1,000 points, it means you're a good basketball player.
How different is he from the kid you met back then?
He's much more mature. Yeah, he's always had a great heart, but he's much more mature. He's going to do well in life. If anybody asked me if they should hire him, I'd look him in the eye and say absolutely. He's going to be great when his basketball career is over.
Along those lines, the Abou that we see is very humble, very happy. Is that how he is all the time?
All the time, yeah. Yeah, except when we get in competition. No, when we get in competition, he's a different guy. But no, off of the floor, he's one of 11, or he's got 11 siblings. He's a good guy. He really is.
Any updates on Bryce?
His ankle, rolled his ankle. I don't know. They'll have treatment tomorrow. They'll give me an update. But he told me that he could have went back into the game. I felt like we had a good enough lineup to go with at that point, so there was no real need for it. But if that probably would have gotten under 11 points, there's a good chance I might have put him back in. But I thought Arturo came in towards the end of the game, and he and Khalil and Newman and Keller, they handled the press well, which we've had our issues with the press late game, right? And so I thought that they did a good job, and that was a step forward in their growth.
Last couple questions.
Brendan Houston's their best shooter. You guys hold him to just 2 looks, no makes. What was the emphasis going into this game?
Not to let him shoot the basketball. Obviously he can change the game with his three-point shooting, and he's a good player. I've known him since he was a sophomore in high school. He can change the game, and they came into the game averaging 14 makes a game, I believe, somewhere right in there. And what'd they have tonight? They had 3. That's the difference in the game, and he certainly is a big part of their offense.
Opposite of that, is there a certain number of looks that you like to get up in any given game?
How many we want to shoot, or how many we want to make?
Both.
As many good shots that we have from 3, I want to shoot them, and I want to make at least 45% of them. So whatever that number is for the game, this team is not a team that I'm going to say, hey, we need to shoot 33s a game, or who did we play early in the year? Gottlieb? Didn't they want to shoot like 43s a game or something? This team's not built like that. When you have a Ousmane, you need to throw him the basketball.
Or you need to let him shoot threes.
Stop. I keep telling him the problem with him Jennings shooting threes is your numbers just can go down, right? Because you started off 5 for 5, 7 for 7, whatever your numbers were. So they need to be smart about that.
Anything else, Preston?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, no problem, guys.